aka Ambazónia, cognizant of UN General Assembly Resolution 1608, paragraph 25, of 21st April 1961, granting independence to the UN Coast Territory of Southern Cameroons, and the subsequent non-execution of all the processes of decolonization prescribed therein, the interim government, representing the aspirations of an overwhelming majority of Ambazonians, has been clear and consistent in articulating the basis of the root causes of the Southern Cameroon's problems, which is the non-execution in its entirety of the above-mentioned UN resolution, thus paving way for the annexation and recolonization of Southern Cameroon's by the Republic of Cameroon in 1961. Therefore, complete decolonization is what we seek. And this involves complete restoration, absolute sovereignty, and recognition of Southern Cameroon's, aka Ambazónia, as the 55th state of Africa. We believe a plebiscite, a non-binding survey of our opinions by the United Nations, is an acceptable democratic process to ascertain the majority view of Southern Cameroonians or Ambazonians since the last plebiscite of 1961. If there is any doubt about the majority's position, we object to any proposed referendum on grounds that it presupposes falsely that Southern Cameroon is a part of the Republic of Cameroon and is seeking to secede as an independent country. We were granted independence in 1961. It was only the joining that did not take place legally, and the Republic of Cameroon withdrew from that union project in 1984 when they reverted to their original name prior to 1961. We have never been part of the Republic.
Recording in progress.
So we do not need a referendum to decide if we can separate from a non-existing union. Also, a binding referendum will explode the genuine dialogue we need to address the root causes of the conflict, because it is based on winner takes all. We are not fighting to change the form of government in the Republic of Cameroon or the Republic of Cameroon. We are not also fighting for constitutional changes within the Republic of Cameroon or French Cameroon. We are fighting against annexation and recolonization. We are defending our restored independence. Annexation cannot be resolved through a referendum because it is either a right or wrong issue, just as the solution for rape. It is not marriage. No. We do not need a referendum to tell right from wrong. We need the international justice system activated properly or negotiated settlement without preconditions. You are aware that after World War I, British Southern Cameroon, as well as French Cameroon, became a League of Nations mandate. From 1922 to 1945, they both became mandated territories. This historical background is essential to understand why we are here today. After 1945, both mandated territories became constituted territories under the United Nations, as stipulated in Chapter 12 and 13 of the United Nations
Thank you very much, Professor Tebo. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the script that was just read there by Professor Tebo has been sent to you. If you have not received, please kindly indicate in the comment section. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Madam Speaker of the House, esteemed members of Cabinet, and all due protocols respected, I would like to use this opportunity to present to you the press we have here today. We have a representation from Brazil, representation from Nigeria, representation from the Cameroons, from the UK, and from Australia. We have about 12 journalists here present, some of whom are representing their press houses. It is worthy to note that we have the biggest radio station across Africa, that's Radio Nigeria, capably represented, and TBC from Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, please, you have the opportunity to ask one question and probably a follow-up question. If your question has already been asked, then you should kindly just do a follow-up or ask another question. Thank you very much. I want to apologize again for the late start, and we plead that you may give us 10 more minutes so that we will have the President squarely respond to your needs. Thank you, Mr. President. If you want to ask your question, please just do so with a show of hands. Yes, watching the floor is yours.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon, colleagues across the world. This is Fortune. I'm from the News Agency of Nigeria. My question is in line with the last speech, and I really want to find out, because the issue of annexation is almost triggering cold wars that no one can really define its end. Talking about the speech, you said you made mention of annexation. Is it that the referendum is basically to avoid the tendencies of Southern Cameroon being annexed, or your call is basically to fight for the sovereignty of that region, of that entity, and also to walk in line with the laws? Because if we check by history, for me to call Israel in terms of its wars and its crisis today is based on issue of annexation. Russia, Ukraine today is still based on annexation. China, Taiwan is still based on annexation. Trying to avoid it, and the Supremos trying to prove a point that it is by law, its own. So can we just get the straight on point that your call is basically on issue of annexation rather than what is anticipated in terms of the referendum you're calling a shot? Thank you.
Mr. President, you're muted.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Havan. Our problem is rightly a problem of annexation. We were granted the right to join with the Republic of Cameroon in a new structure, a new state structure, which will be the Federal Republic of the Cameroons. That is so described in the text of the United Nations. then the joining did not take place, legally speaking. So what happened was, what has happened for these 61 years past, or 62, has been a de facto union. Because the United Nations, by Resolution 1608 of the General Assembly, prescribed what was needed, the legal ingredients that was necessary for that union to become a de jure union according to the text and the charter of the United Nations. That was not done. Instead, our other equal party that we chose to join decided to overrun the Southern Cameroons, send gendarmes and their soldiers against us, and the rest has been annexation. The rest has been assimilation. They have used force, they have used propaganda, they have used corruption in the international circle with the backing of the French to keep us in that state of a slave. So that is annexation, because what we have today in the Cameroon does not reflect what the United Nations intended or prescribed. So we are there against our will. So we have restored, we have simply reaffirmed our separate existence as a country. And we are expecting that the United Nations, whose number one objective is to prevent conflict than to go, because they don't have the means to go about resolving conflict. The number one objective should be to prevent. But unfortunately, as it has been, they are always coming at the end when millions of lives have been wasted. So we believe that annexation is a crime, just like colonialism, just like slavery, just like apartheid. They are crimes against humanity. So you don't resolve this by trying to give it some legal coloration. Simple. The United Nations should stand up with their own schedules and implement their own resolutions and review them when there is conflict, when it goes bad like this, because they were the origin of this experiment. So we are calling on them to just simply interpret their own laws. And those who voted yes for this experimental union, call it experimental because that's what it is. It only becomes a reality when it is confirmed. It becomes legal. It becomes official in record in the United Nations. It is not. So looking at our problem as one of annexation would rightly position us and make it clear why we cannot expect the referendum to be the solution. We have to put our case alongside other cases, like you mentioned Israel, you mentioned Ukraine. The world will not accept. Up to now, they are rejecting the referenda that are being organized by Russia in Donbass and other areas of Ukraine. They say because that cannot. Then how can anyone contemplate? I cannot even say the international community is proposing a referendum to us because they have not. Or have they? They have not. I don't know anyone international stakeholder who has come out and said we propose that this issue be resolved by the referendum. There are just some Southern Cameroon stakeholders who are proposing to themselves the referendum. Simple. They are thinking aloud, probably, or trying to re-strategize in a strategy that I call one of capitulation or surrender. Because you cannot be talking of referendum as a means of acceding to independence if you have been independent before. Unless you have not been independent. If you have been independent before, you You cannot ask for a referendum to determine if you were independent or not. So that's why it's all wrong. And I'm only waiting for any time the international community will officially present to us that as a proposal, then we shall respond. Or Cameroon will then propose that to us, then we will respond. People, those are things that are only said when people meet on the table and some proposals come to the table, then we discuss them. It's unfortunate that some among us decided to even make this an issue of discussion at this time. Like we were the first who actually seceded because they are the ones who refused to sign the Treaty of Union with us. They are the ones who reverted to their former name after they considered the experiment as failed. Because their process was one of assimilation, not a union of two states of equal status. When they reverted to their former name, they literally withdrew from the de facto union or experiment. So we have simply reaffirmed what the reality is. Then somebody will come and propose a referendum to us. Who is proposing a referendum to La Republique?
Thank you, Mr. President. Moyo, Thomas, the floor is yours. You can unmute yourself. Fortune, I've sent the document again to you. Just check the platform. Moyo, please, you can unmute and ask your question. Okay, we're going to take Fortune Abang, do you want to ask a question?
To follow up. So yes, ask.
He just asked the question now, Paddy.
Okay. Then I'll take Joe. Joe, please kindly unmute and ask your question.
So, sorry, President, please, I just wanted to ask again. Your thoughts was well taken, quite taken. But what happens if the UN fails? What are the conditions, or what should the public, the international community know as the ground rule for this?
The UN is failing for 7 years now because what they were supposed to do was simply to come in immediately because this is their territory. This is their task. This is their unfinished task. This is what they started that when did not go well. So they are failing. But if by any means peace is not found through diplomatic intervention, then the war continues. It means they have voted for continuation of the genocide that is ongoing. And who knows what conflict does when it is not resolved? It will only grow and spiral. Because those who think that they can wish a conflict away are naive. They don't even understand how this works, or they are wicked, because many more lives will go. When the people have decided that, when a woman has decided that enough with this marriage, because I thought you will marry me, and you have refused to sign even the marriage certificate with me all these years, and I'm home. And the international community is somebody that is there wishing that somehow the powerful party, the husband, if you can use enough force to keep that woman in the house, it's legal. When you do that, it means you have decreed violence. Because people will always find a way to get their rights and get their freedom, get their desires. This is not people, this is a people issue. The people of the Southern Cameroon. This is not one individual that will look around, find here and there, and then kill him like that have been done in some cases. This is the people have risen and they said, no, justice must be done. So if the United Nations or international community and all stakeholders don't do anything, it means they have chosen to allow violence in that part of Africa, in the Southern Cameroon, continue. And to tell you the truth, people will fight. When it comes to freedom, our people are willing to fight because we discovered that the only way this issue can be resolved is if we stand up for what belongs to us. If we stand up for what is right. For 7 years we have been doing so, and we intend to do so until reason will prevail.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thomas Moyo, can you
Paddy, I read a message in the chat. Mr. Moyo Thomas says the host doesn't allow him to unmute, but there is no restriction. Everybody can unmute themselves, so it might be in the device, Mr. Thomas Moyo. So please, if you can log out and log back in, maybe that will help. Everybody can unmute anytime they want to unmute. Thank you.
In the meantime, Joe, please. Randy?
Yeah, thank you very much. This press conference is holding just a couple of hours after the killing of a journalist in Bamenda. And this journalist or his colleagues would have probably been part of this press conference. He is not able to do so. Many other journalists are not able to do so. And this is sort of, it indicates the urgency with which people back here on the ground want this conflict to end. As you focus on the international community in this press conference, I would ask you, what really do you want the international community to do in terms of resolving this conflict? What specific actions would you want to happen from their part? Thank you.
I will call on the conscience of the international community at this time, because I think they know what is right and what is wrong. As far as this conflict is concerned, this is not a lecture about what is right and what is wrong. The United States, Canada, the French, the British, the EU, they know what is right and what is wrong in this matter. But I will only appeal to their conscience, because without the right conscience, there will be no political will. And I'm saying that the problem of freedom, I mean, the right of freedom, or the rights of freedom, are not just for some and not for others. Because how many more journalists, because I don't even know where to start, how many more journalists will be killed in Cameroon, in the Cameroons, in Ambazónia, before the matter gets the attention of the Human Rights Commission of the United Nations, or of course the Security Council, to take some measures. It's the international. So that is that's troubling. How many more? So it's a matter of conscience here. It's a matter of conscience, because they know all these things. They know what is right, wrong. In some countries, just a percentage, 1% of what has happened to freedoms in Ambazónia, to our freedom, to our basic freedom, to our rights, 1% of it would have already cost the whole world of life, with sanctions and threatening intervention and visa bans and even send jets to fly the space of Cameroon to make sure peace, to make sure to serve as warnings. If this is not going on yet, it's unfortunate. If the West does not support the rights of the common people, and they continue to defend bad leaders, dictators, because of their interests. They are just building time bombs that when they explode, we don't even know. We cannot tell their magnitude in the future. Because the future does not belong to those people. The future belongs to the people. Does not belong to leaders. The future belongs to the people. So I can only make an appeal to their conscience. I know they are very reasonable and very, very, very learned and well informed about what is going on. But until the conscience of a man is taught, you will not be willing to do the right. So I pray that leaders of conscience in the international community should join us and cry aloud. Help us to overcome this cloud, this suppression that is going on the media. You'll be shocked that what you're expressing here, you will not hear it in the main Western media that actually inform their political thought. So they make sure there's a deliberate blackout so that these questions will not come to the leadership. But we have to find ways to reach out to the leaders of conscience and continue in our own way to spread this word about what is going on, just so that somehow some good people amongst them will step out and do the right and stop this. Because there's a complete culture of the impunity that's going on. Abacha was just accused of electoral malpractice and is it a coup d'etat? And he was removed from the Commonwealth. Mugabe they said because he rigged an election, he was removed from the Commonwealth. Everybody around the world, they were pouncing on Mugabe. They look at him, more than Mugabe. He's in charge of Cameroon. More than Mugabe is prosecuting a genocidal war for 7 years against us, killing thousands of people with impunity. Today is this journalist. Tomorrow is which one? Today is this pastor. Tomorrow is another bishop. And nothing, no one even fears that anything can happen to them. Because their interest is secured by a dictator who tomorrow will not be there. I will tell you that those who invest on dictators are not investing in the future. Petwani ruled for 27 years. Where is he today? And where is Cote d'Ivoire today? Ahidjo was there for 22 years. Bia is 40 years. Do you know what will happen next? When he goes. Mobutu was there for 32 years. Those who invested in Mobutu. When Mobutu died and was no more, what became of Zaire? Okasa was there for 14 years. They invested in him and he left instead of investing on the people. When he died, when he left power, what became of Central Africa today? Wars and wars and wars. Zaire, wars and wars and wars. In Mali, they invested in Moussa Traoré for 22 years. When he lost power, what became, that's what spiraled to what we have today. Those who invest in the people and listen to the cries of the people are wise because they are looking into the future. Those who hang their hopes in evil leaders, bad leaders, killers, murderers, genocidaires, because of their interests, have sacrificed the future.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll plead with you all to wait so we can take Brazil. They will need an interpreter before we continue. I understand, Moyo, you're now available?
Yes.
Okay, just keep your question. Right after that, we will take Brazil before we continue with questions. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. President, my question starts from the briefing we had with you 2021. You talked about the genocide that was going on, I want to ask, is that still happening, or has there been a solution to that? And then you talked about the UN, the call for UN to do something about the situation happening, what's happening to Ambazónia. Have you made any other move beyond speaking with media? Recently, I mean in recent times, have you attended the General Assembly to make a case on this, and what was the outcome? And then you, while speaking earlier, you also said that I want a clarification on that. Did you say you want Cameroon to sign a treaty of union with you, with Ambazónia? I mean, is that what you said, or did I not get that right? Thank you.
Okay, Moyo, are you representing TVC?
Yes, Moyo, I report for TVC News, Abuja, Nigeria. Okay, this is my final question also. Is there a special appeal you're making from Nigeria? Do you have any special appeal Ambazónia is making to Nigeria or seeking from Nigeria?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moyo. Thank you. Here's the genocide is ongoing, has been ongoing since 2017. If it has changed, it is only now on steroids. Because when a man starts committing crime, he has the fear of the law. When he has committed crime to a point where even the police cannot, they have not made any attempt to stop him, then he goes on steroids. He thinks he's a god. He thinks nothing can stop him. He fears no one. Now he can kill him. And that's what's going on now. The genocide is going on that they extract anyone in Ambazónia. French Cameroon walks into any community, extract anyone that on the road, whether on in the checkpoint, anyone they just point, you just need to point your finger at somebody and say it is one of them. They extract you, they summarily just kill you. They extract them early in the morning about 4 a.m. Remain slave. They don't accept assimilation. They dare to question their oppressor or their annexationist, or they dare to ask for their rights. So, especially anyone who dares to say, hey, no, I disagree. We watch and see 2-3 days, whether in writing or in social media, they trace them from anywhere. And they go silently and take them out. That's what is going on right now. The international conspiracy has made that the numbers have not changed since 2017. When you read the international reports, they will tell you 3,000, more than 3,000. When they started, they say about 3,000. About 3,000 have been killed. Then after about 3,000, they start saying 3,000 have been killed. Then after 3,000, they say more than 3,000 have been killed. The sum of their prayers has not been so collaborative on the of those lives. Some of them have said it. I read a report recently of Amnesty International talking about 6,000. Very soon they will say 6,000, then they will say over 6,000. The reports we have as the people who are affected, who are burying our own, more than 50,000 of ours have died. And many have died as a consequence of the war. I mean, those they have killed, about 50 plus thousand, and many more than that number have died as a consequence of war. Because some were not shot with a bullet. The hunger killed them. Some died in the bushes trying to give birth. So that is what is happening. We are not just speaking to the media. We have broken glass ceilings to be heard, to even be where we are today, to even have EU resolutions on our issue, to have congressional resolution on our issue, to even have whole governments interested to mediate in this country. We are working behind the scenes and talking to everyone, hoping that somebody will see they need to do the right thing, despite the huge interests that will be at stake for some. So it's not easy for us to have access to the United Nations directly, but we are looking for people who can talk on our behalf, because not being a member, the United Nations is a club. And who will tell you if your enemy, a criminal, is a member of that club and you are not? So what do club members do? They favor their own. They stand with their own. They have more relationship built with their own than you. So that's what is happening. It's not easy. If the international community was just ruled by wrong and right, we will be the United Nations telling them exactly what is going on. But the French are there with their veto power. And the rules have been made. They were not made with us in mind. They were made for their club members. And we only need another nation. It's strong leaders, people who want to do the right thing, who will say, you know what? We are here for international peace. These people have an issue. It should be addressed. It started here. It should end here. So we are talking to people who can talk on our behalf. We are not asking the Republic to come and sign the Treaty of Union. We are only telling them that we did not sign one. You cannot annex us for 61 years. Then when we want to ask the foundation of our legal existence as a nation, you kill thousands of us. Then at the end, you come and even work a piece of paper before us called Treaty of Union. Say, let us now sign the Treaty of Union that we did not sign 61 years ago. To what end? So that you know what? So that what happens? We are not going to sign a Treaty of Union with one who has already, just like somebody goes into courtship with a woman and maltreat that woman for about 7 years courtship. Then when the matters escalate, the man said, okay, for us to solve this problem, let's go and sign the marriage certificate. Just imagine, how is that going to be? I think the family of the woman will ask the man, are you serious? Are you okay upstairs? Because that is not the solution to a broken courtship. Our special appeal to Nigeria is that let Nigeria follow the judgment of their own court, which appealed to the Attorney General to take the matter to the ICJ to determine who was the border of who was the neighbor of Nigeria, the Eastern Maritime Border, who shared the Eastern Maritime Border with Nigeria as an independent on the 1st of October 1960. The courts in Abuja, yes, passed that judgment that the Attorney General should, was it in 2003? I don't know. 2002?
Yes.
Okay. So let them simply do the right thing and help us. It will go a long way to resolve this matter legally and to make it clear to some who don't understand that they are dealing with a separate and independent country called the Southern Cameroon. Let Nigeria do their thing, not in our favor, but let them respect their law. Let them go to the ICJ, as was recommended by their court, to determine who was in their borders. That will help us resolve the Bakassi issue even better than the Green Tree Accord, whatever. Or to help to adjudicate this matter even better. And because if they do that, they will go a long way to resolve the issue. They will take a better position when they understand that the Southern Cameroon Ambazónia, we are actually their neighbor. We are international neighbors with them. And like what they did in 2017, 2018, when they helped to adopt our leaders and they took them, gave them over to French Cameroon, and they are today serving life sentences. And their court has also ruled that that was not right. So if they did something that was not right, and their club members are still holding the ones that they took from Nigeria, they gave them. Part of the appeal to Nigeria is to go back to their club member and say, no, we did the wrong thing. Let's do what is right. Release those people and let them come back to Nigeria. The next thing I'm appealing to is that they should treat our refugees well, help them. Once upon a time, there was a war in Nigeria. Ambazónia was a safe haven for the refugees who left Nigeria because of the war. One good turn deserves another. They treat them